Hey guys, let's go ahead and do a little bit of a dive into the files we got here today. Let me see what kind of it's got. See top. You can't see armor, but adjust the screen a little bit. Okay, there we go. So now you can kind of see every file. Alright. So you can see I basically got a little bit of everything here. We got a little bit of armor items. Right now everything's not detailed. The chapters is probably the most detailed. We've got a lot of chapters going on here, a lot of different choices that you do. You can see I can shrink them down so that I don't have to have them in my face all the time, which is actually really nice. I've got a pretty good system going on where I have an action that I can call out, and then that action can do a particular type of item thing. Like this one, you actually receive a particular type of amulet. There's some other ones up here where you can have an outcome that you detail. So this is a forest entrance, and depending on which way that you decide to go, I can mark that, save that for later, so that when you have another choice in the future, that'll actually cause a branching path, which is kind of really neat. It's actually really awesome. And you can also use variables. These are called tokens. And then these tokens are going to call, obviously, this variable that I have scheduled elsewhere in my files. But I've got everything broke down into their own little packs. I got a bunch of different enemies. These come straight from AD&D, so it's pretty cool. I got a bunch of potions that I have detailed. I got a couple shops. I got some special items and some weapons that are detailed, which is nice. Got the CSS broke down into each little schedule. As you can see, I got an inventory screen, there's level up screens, I got the fight screen that you saw, the shop screens, the start screen. There's this thing's blowing up. It's awesome. I broke out each of the managers into their own little package. These are the UI managers, so this deals with all the JavaScript related to everything that shows up on screen. Then I got our content manager. This is where I load all the data. So I'm doing something kind of neat here with my items, because I have the items broken out into several different files, but I want to still just call it items in the game. Namely because I started with items and the game got pretty big before I broke the items apart. So that was my little workaround for it. It's kind of nice. I'm using some asynchronous loading so that everything gets loaded on time before the game begins. I got my get data, and so everything's working pretty smooth here. I kind of enjoy what we're doing here. My core engine is what basically stores all the basic, all the main information for my evaluate choice, my updating the state, which is the game state, essentially all this, and then what happens when you get these, things like that. Here's some of the actions that we get called that we were showing in the JSON earlier. So we got XP calls, there's equipments, item, all sorts of different things you can do. My fight engine, which is starting to grow, it's starting to actually get pretty big. Still have to put in defend and a couple other things in here. But that's just a matter of time to add. Our enemy action, same thing. We just need to add some stuff. You can see I got constants. Those constants are going to be changing, and they're going to be based on attributes instead. Pretty simple fix, but you see basically the game's working now, so that's what's good. Rewards calculations, it sums up all the enemies, it sums up all the gold, and then it gives you your chance for a reward, which is pretty nice. I think that's what we've got so far, so I'm glad you guys were with us. Let's have a good one.